We're back on the Suburban Ford 7 Sports Cave. Tom Leyden, Mike Stone. Actually, we both got pretty excited during the break because we saw some of the tweets that were coming in. So some good discussion today, and we appreciate that, using the 7 Sports Cave hashtag. And the guy who's really keeping tabs on most of that joins us now in the control room. Mike Foss, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, Tom, Stoney. Clearly, I didn't get the memo on the zip hoodie for today's hoodie edition of the 7 Sports Cave, and as you alluded to, we got a ton of Twitter chatter, so let's get right to it using that hashtag 7 Sports Cave. A couple of kind words for Tom to start off with. Fly Guy says, "Going to miss you, Tom. Not sure Channel 7 will find someone with big enough feet to fill your shoes."
I do wear 14s.
Wow. Karen says, "Going to miss you, Tom. You're our favorite sports personality. The Lions coverage will not be the same. You are irreplaceable." And as for topics we're talking about, a couple about Sue first. Jeff says Mayhew and Luan continued bungling on the contract structuring has put the Lions in this situation. What choice do they have with Sue? Sean says franchise Sue and pay him for what will likely be his last great season. Long-term deal for a 29-year-old is crazy. And then a couple on the NHL trade deadline. We'll get more into that here. JVH says Holland better not sit in his hands for yet another deadline. They haven't made a significant move since Brad Stewart. And finally, Detroit Sports Podcast, and Stoney, you just touched on this a little bit a minute ago. What would defenseman Jack Johnson add to the wings if a deal with Columbus could be worked out, guys?
Wow, great stuff. And that's just a small sampling. There were a couple that we saw that weren't even included there, which we'll get to towards the end of this. But let's talk Jack Johnson first, because that was the last one there. What kind of thing? He needs money. We know that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much done with. I mean, I think it's him and his parents. I don't think they're speaking to each other, but I think he's on the right road to get that money back. I know I'm in the minority. I'd give up a number 1. I'd give up Mantha and maybe a number 2 or something. He's still a really good player. He's in the prime of his career. I don't know if Columbus would do it. I mean, it's one of these things, you know.
Do you agree that getting Brad Stewart was the last big move that the Red Wings made at the deadline? You kind of have to go through your head. It's a long time ago. That's back in the late 2000s.
Well, I know they made when the Leguan move last year.
That doesn't qualify.
I know. That was bad. Yeah. And Stewart was pretty much one of the best moves he's made, the last good move he's made at a deadline. That's for damn sure.
I think this is the team that you go after it. Because we're going to talk about Sue in our fast 3 minutes, let's address something we heard from Art Regner, who said, how about Peter Mrazek? Is that a guy that you would get rid of if it's going to bring you back somebody who's going to make a major difference on this year's team?
Well, it's got to be somebody who's going to make a major difference on this year's team and is not a rental, who's going to be here for a while. And Art suggested a rugged defenseman and a scorer. No, I'm a Mrazek sloppy. I admit it. I'm sorry. I'm not a Jimmy Howard guy. Jimmy Howard's had a good year. Until he can win more than one round in the playoffs, I'm not sold. Peter Mrazek, he to me is the goalie of the future. He's going to be the guy who's going to take you to the Stanley Cup.
We will see. Let's see how it evolves. Let's get to our fast 3 minutes here, and we're going to hop right into the Ndamukong Suh topic because it's clearly the hottest topic in town right now. We got 60 minutes and 60 seconds to talk about it. We could talk about it for 60 minutes, but the long-term effect of franchising Suh on this franchise, what would it be, and are you willing to take that risk by putting the franchise tag on?
Yeah, because it's for 1 year. And I think they can be creative enough where they can get, look, they already, got rid of Reggie Bush, save money, but that's more because Reggie Bush wasn't doing the job because he was not healthy this year. I think for 1 year you take that chance and you have another year where you can work out a long-term contract with Ndamukong Suh. And if he plays his butt off like he did this year, then it's worth it. I think it's worth. I don't think it really screws them that much if they franchise him for 1 year.
Well, you're putting a ton of faith in general manager Martin Mayhew if you do not franchise him, because now he's going to have a ton of money to go shop around. And your whole mindset as a fan base and as an organization has to change because now you're doing the shopping. You're trying to figure out who's going to get in there.
He's done a pretty good job free agent-wise, ahead of Bo, Tate, Glover, Quinn. It's the drafts every other year that worry me. Now, this should be a good year because last year's draft, Eric Ebron was bad.
Don't take a tight end number 1 ever again, please, ever. All right, move on to the next topic, Tigers injuries. As the season begins, there's a lot of them just to be generally concerned about, from Iglesias to Verlander to Cabrera to Martinez to even Avila and his long-term health with the head injuries. Are you concerned that this team at its top level is a little thin when it comes to health?
Yes. I mean, you bring up great concerns. I mean, is Cabrera and Victor going to be 100% when they actually start? To me, the biggest concern is not even the injuries, though. The biggest concern to me is they really have not upgraded the damn bullpen. The bullpen has been the linchpin for so many years, and I'm sorry, they have not made it that much better by bringing back Jabba Chamberlain and signing the left-hander. I always screw up his name. Gressolani, the guy from
Milwaukee.
Gressolani from Milwaukee. I mean, come on.
I think that Tony Paul brought up a good point last week about Avila, that his workload will be minimized a bit this year.
McCann.
Right? And he is wearing the different mask, which I think will help because he took so many of those shots right to the mask that I think the deflections off the sides will help. Topic number 3, because so many people were talking about it, and I like getting his thoughts on silly stuff like this. You saw what happened at the end of the Kansas State game where there was a big issue after the court rush. Is this going down the path of trouble? And do you think that there should be any changes in the rules regarding college students storming the court?
No, they just have to do it smart, like they did the game. There was a game the next night where you have security line up in front of the benches so the players can do their handshakes and get off in the locker room, and the kids aren't going to storm. The problem with the Kansas State thing was they got on the scorer's table, so everybody migrated towards the kids, and that's why, you know, Brent Musburger was saying, "Oh, there's Nikes in the chest," all that kind of stuff. It can be done in a decent way. It doesn't have to be like, I'm sorry. I think it's okay.
And it's also a matter of knowing when you should storm the court. Maryland.
Well, it's a whole different.
Maryland beating Wisconsin, good win at home. That's a game that if you're in the Big Ten and you're going up against one of the best teams, you should win. You shouldn't be rushing the court. I never did it. Somebody asked me, did you ever rush a basketball court? BC wasn't known for its major upsets.
Certainly American wasn't. I wasn't there when we beat Georgetown.
All right, so we're going to take a break, but as we go to break, we're going to get you caught up to speed with our Pistons sweepstakes, the 360-degree sweepstakes. And this week's winner, as I go through all of my paper here, is Steve Gregorian. Congratulations to Steve Gregorian. You get 4 tickets to the game on March 8th against the Thunder. Congrats to you. And if you want to enter, go to WXYZ.com/contest for a chance at a weekly giveaway of 4 tickets to an upcoming Detroit Pistons home game. We're going to draw 1 winner each week. And also, while you're there, enter to win a monthly chance at an incredible Pistons game experience. Everything from the chance to shoot free throws on the court after the game to courtside seats during warm-ups. Just visit WXYZ.com/contest. And we got another giveaway coming up on the other side of the break. Stay with us. The 7 Sports Cave continues after just a couple minutes away to take care of some business. We're back right after this.